is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Our conversation with Dr. Jill Waggoner is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Dr. Jill joins us from the Dallas area where, boys and girls, guess what? We are warmer than Dallas today. How did that happen, Dr. Jill? What's going on?
I do not know. I'm really going to check with somebody. So I can't, maybe they got mixed up on the weather.
Well, you know what? It actually feeds a little bit into our topic of conversation. Here in this area and across Pennsylvania, the flu report shows that it's trending downward. The last 2 weeks, the rate has declined, and that's great news for everybody. But the CDC is saying the worst of the respiratory illness season hasn't even arrived yet. And when you have cold cycles, warm cycles, the weather's up and down, we're not quite sure how to dress and how to behave around others. It really does feed into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And, sometimes we're apart and then it'll get really cold and we're all inside again. And the children are out of school and then they go back to school. The college students are all kind of getting back on campus now. So there's so many contributing factors. But, yeah, we anticipate that, it cycles every year that we're entering that cycle of respiratory illness.
Do you agree with CDC that it's going to get worse before it gets better?
I think some places actually, from what I'm seeing in my practice, and like you said, I'm in Dallas, I think it kind of varies all over the country. So for us, our numbers with COVID are pretty high. Well, not high compared to what they were 2 years ago, but they are higher than where they were a few months ago. A flu a couple of weeks ago was really bad, and now it's starting to go down. We're seeing RSV kind of across the spectrum at a steady state. So I think it depends on where you are as to what you are seeing and what wave you're in.
Dr. Jill, did the COVID-19 pandemic, did it teach us better habits in dealing with others when we get to things like passing on viruses and germs and all of that?
It did. We got in the weeds there for a while. We were in the weeds. But I think after we all kind of got our breath and we stopped yelling at each other, that we realized that some basic things. If you are coughing and sneezing, if you can stay away from other people, stay away from other people. If not, put on a mask. If somebody's in the house who has a respiratory tract infection, you want to make sure that you ventilate well, that you all wash and you put your air purifier if you can. I think we knew those things, but it just really helped us to bring them to the fore and reminded us that we have to protect ourselves to keep from just spreading those viruses all over everywhere.
Dr. Jill has written 8 books on wellness. She's board certified in family medicine, and she's with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning. What's the latest book, Dr. Jill?
The last one I actually wrote was Maddie on a Mission, and it was a little kid's book about the virus and what to do. And Maddie is a little girl, and she was trying to make sure that she did her part to tell children their information. So it was Maddie on a Mission. That was the last one that I did.
No, well, there you go. That sounds fascinating. It sounds like a great little read for moms and dads. That being the case, we need to be able to teach our children what are the proper habits that we should be following in order to make sure that we're not becoming spreaders of something that could be pretty nasty.
Right. And so you teach your children to wash their hands. You teach them to wash their hands. One of the things, too, I've been talking to parents about, when you pick your children up from school, change their clothes. When we were kids, you changed clothes, for a number of reasons. But all of those germs that they share, some of them are still on their clothes. And then you come in the house and you lay on your bed and all of that. So change those clothes, wash their hands and faces during this time of year. If you're in for the evening, go ahead and let them take a bath before they have dinner. So that kind of cleans them up really good. Just those kinds of things to make the little people aware that you got to wash your hands so you can get the germs off of your hands, not just from COVID, just from germs, period. Not to make them a germaphobe or anything like that, but to help them understand that that's how we keep infections from spreading.
Dr. Jill, 1,000 years ago when I was playing high school basketball, I played for a legendary basketball coach here in Pennsylvania. And before every single practice, he went to each player and he gave us each a vitamin C orange pill. And he demanded that we take that pill, which leads me to the question for you. Are there certain supplements that we should be taking as a general everyday type of thing? Is the multivitamin that we're taking, is that good enough, or should we have a little extra focus when we're into the cold and flu season?
Yeah, I recommend, a multi is good. You'll find people who argue against it and say you just urinate it out. Well, if you don't need it, you might, but it's okay. I recommend vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, because the one thing we found out looking at COVID and going through that, it kind of took us back to the biochemistry of it and how vitamin D, C, and zinc are important for a proper functioning immune system, period, and natural killer cells and those kinds of things. And then I recommend things like quercetin for a lot of my patients, or dark leafy greens, which you want to do anyway. So the general thought is, first of all, eat good, healthy foods, non-processed if you can. Sleep, because when you're sleep deprived, your immune system doesn't function well. Hydrate really well, exercise, just keep yourself healthy so when you encounter anything that could make you sick, that your immune system can knock it out before it knocks you out.
Dr. Jill Waggoner is our guest. She's sharing advice with us in this cold and flu season about how we can protect ourselves and our families from running into problems with the cold and flu. Are you finding, Dr. Jill, that your patients are more reluctant to isolate themselves because of COVID-19 and all of the anger at being told that we couldn't go out, we couldn't be around other people? Are patients still accepting of that advice?
It's really funny. It's all over the spectrum. I have some people who absolutely say, oh, no, I want to stay home. And how long? And they're still thinking 10 days. And I'm saying, no, it doesn't have to be 10. It's 5 now. And then I have patients who absolutely don't want to stay home. And I encourage them, well, put your mask on. If you have to go somewhere, put your mask on. But I've encouraged my patients during the whole process, if it was warm enough or they had a balcony or a porch, go out there and sit so you could get some sunshine anyway. So it varies. It's all over the place. I just try to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And just try to get them to understand one of the things that I think we all have to focus on is everything is not about us.
What?
So, I know, aren't you shocked?
That's outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. Everything is not about me as an individual. What is happening to the other people? I may encounter somebody who's going through chemotherapy that I don't know about, or who has some immune disease that I don't know about, and then I bring something to them that could threaten their life. So when I put it in that language, a lot of people kind of think, oh, this is a different point of view. This is not about somebody trying to police me. This is about helping me be a better citizen, just human being citizen.
All right, I have to consider whether I'm ever having Dr. Jill back on again because she just told me it's not about me.
Well, just put that on your counseling list.
Okay. All right. Dr. Jill, where do we learn more? Where do we get your books?
You can go to askdrjill.net, drjill.net. And my books and supplements and teas. I have teas that are really good this time of the year because a warm cup of tea just is great for anybody's soul. So ask drjill.net.
Beautiful. Hey, have a wonderful day there in Dallas. Get warm, will you?
I will. You have a great day as well.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Jill Waggoner with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning.